Child of Light is a 2D RPG set in a fairy tale world. It's been inspired by the watercolor art of the golden age of illustration.
Child of Light is a playable poem that chronicles the journey of a young girl growing up. It's a coming-of-age story.
The story of Child of Light follows Aurora. She's a young daughter of an Austrian duke, and one day she wakes up in the magical world of Lemuria. And her first objective is to return home to her father. During that journey, Aurora will meet a lot of people. She's going to grow as a person from the little child that needs to go home to a young princess that will save the kingdom of Lemuria.
Le look du jeu, c'est une peinture animée. En gros, on a vraiment l'impression d'évoluer dans une illustration complète.
Les inspirations artistiques, c'est beaucoup d'anciennes illustrations du XVIIIe siècle, des peintres comme John Bower, Edmond Dulac, Rackham.
On a accentué un maximum l'effet d'aquarelle, de donner cette impression aussi d'être dans un espèce de rêve éveillé sous l'eau.
C'est un jeu très fluide, très élégant, qui rend hommage un peu à la peinture des anciennes illustrations.
D'apporter ce look-là, et ça nous permettait aussi de s'échapper un peu de tout ce qu'on voit dans les jeux vidéo actuels. On voulait quelque chose de très simple, très coloré et à la fois très doux. C'était tout un monde à créer, c'était vraiment très très bien.
I really wanted to aim for the fans of those classic console RPGs. People like me, for example, who grew up a little bit and now we have families. And the idea was, can we bring those fans to share the experience with their family, their loved ones? And that's how we came up with the idea of having the game playable in co-op.
On Child of Light, we're using the UbiArt Framework engine, which is the engine developed in Montpellier for Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends. The art pipeline is fantastic. The concept art is the game art. We just cut it up and it's in the engine that afternoon.
It allowed us to realize that dream of being able to play on a living painting and see the end of the artist in the game. Just last year, I only had a couple of images, an idea of what a game could be. Today, with the help of the team, the idea became something really concrete, and I'm really proud of what we accomplished. When I started to think about Child of Light, I wanted to start working with external collaborators in Montreal. And in our search for collaborators, we ended up with people that are extremely talented and world-renowned.
I'm Carl de Pirate. I'm a singer-songwriter from Montreal, and I composed the music for Child of Light.
Carl de Pirate brings that sense of intimacy. There's also a youthfulness in the music, in the way she plays the piano.
My experience with Ubisoft was great. I was there from the beginning, so I remember when they asked me to do it, they didn't have like that much material for me to work with, so I got to have this complete freedom. And then when I first saw the images, I was thrown away. I thought it was wonderful. It was so beautifully made. There's so much depth to it all, and I really felt that I could work with that.
For me, the music was there to create that sense of intimacy, of nostalgia when we're exploring, but also that sense of energy that we have when we're doing fights or boss fights.
At first it was supposed to be something really small, just like a piano and guitar and maybe a cello, and it was kind of a challenge because whenever you get into a boss fight, it gets so much more intense. And we actually had to commission a whole orchestra to do the boss fights.
It's really epic, big, and operatic.
I remember seeing for the first time the music on the images, and I kind of teared up a little bit because it's just so wonderful to see something come to life like that.
I wanted the sound to be really organic and magical at the same time, so it was quite of a challenge to get those two mixed together. For Aurora, I didn't want the Foley just to be the only thing that would make the sound, you know, just cloth and gear. So for the wings, we tried so many things. It was never working really. At the end, Chai, the Foley artist, suggested we use a flower. And it actually works really good. It makes some really believable wings loops.
We also work with Cirque du Soleil to really help enhance the sense of theatricality in our game.
My first impression of this project was, wow, this looks wonderful, it's beautifully designed. I think it's a breath of fresh air in a world where most video games are based on muscular demonstrations of graphics and power.
Working with Cirque du Soleil brings us their world-class experience in realization, and also in terms of design, they're used to create those extravagant costumes, those exotic world. And for me, that was a perfect match with Child of Light.
They would show me things, they would ask for my opinion, and we would just debate and discuss how some of these things could be improved or transformed. I'm not a video game designer, and I think that's what they specifically wanted from me, was the stage direction point of view. I was sort of brought back to my childhood, into this sort of fairy tale world that was very beautiful and very fulfilling, and to be able to play something that reminds me of these fairy tales was truly great.
The writing in Child of Light is entirely in rhyme, and so I had to really treat almost every stanza as a puzzle.